to the line and pitch. I got myself, Nick Kachi. We have Danny Diaz and Justin Smith joining today as we talk some baseball heading into the 2025 season. We got preseason wrapping up, so we're going to be going over the MLB Preseason Tiers and how the teams line up heading into the season. We'll have the boys jump in, talk about what they agree with and disagree with, and we'll go from there. So let's start it off and see where we got the teams lined up so far. At the very bottom, we got bottom of the barrel. We got the Colorado Rockies. We got the Angels. We have the A's, the Miami Marlins, and can hardly even see them down there, the Chicago White Sox. These teams really only got like one thing going for them each. Rockies got a cool location. Angels got Mike Trout, which hopefully, honestly, they get rid of him. They need to let him go to a contender and hopefully win something while he can at least play more than 10 games a season. A's got Mason Miller. They dish him off. That'd be lovely. He goes to the Phillies or something. Miami Marlins, if they would have not traded anybody, they might be at the top of the list with the dynasty with the LA Dodgers. But the lineup that they've traded away is absolutely absurd. But wrapping off that bottom is the White Sox. They should just delete that franchise, and I don't know what else to say besides we can really move on from them. Then next here we got mid at best, the Tigers. We got the Blue Jays, the Rays, the Cardinals, and the Twins. Honestly, each of these teams kind of got, I feel like they got a fan base, like their fan base really believes in them. I think all of them have a good chance to end up at the bottom of the barrel, and pretty quickly. The Tigers, they made the playoffs last year. Honestly, I think that's about like their ceiling. Maybe they can do that again, but they're no shot at making it to the second round. Blue Jays, they ought to sell everybody on that team. I think the Vladdy, get him off there. Bo Bichette, get him off there. Kevin Gausman, get him off there. Like, let these guys be free. These guys have been, they're stuck there. Rays got some young players too, and I feel like they was going to streak, but they never live up to any hype. Twins, they're just kind of, they're the Minnesota Twins. What can you expect from them? They're not winning anything. And Cardinals, I don't know. You feel like you want them to be good, but I just don't see it happening. I think they're middle tier at the absolute best. Stepping up or stepping back, or stepping back or stepping up rather. Astros losing some really key players here. They lost who lost here? We got Alex Bregman's gone. We have Kyle Tucker gone. I want to say they lost a pitcher too, but they always seem to come back somehow. Last year starting with one of the worst seasons ever and come back. You got the Rangers, a couple believers in them. They got a couple solid players, but I don't know. Obviously won the World Series not that long ago. Washington, they got some really good young players. C.J. Abrams, Dylan Cruz, really excited for his debut this year. Brewers, Justin here's a Brewers fan, and I think he even agrees they lost some really key pieces here heading into the year. Obviously, repping the jersey. I don't even know if I can guess who's on that jersey. Do they play right now?
No.
They're retired. Oh, wow. How long ago?
8 years.
Position?
Outfield. For most of his career. Got caught in the juice.
Oh my gosh, why am I blanking right now?
It's Ryan Braun.
I don't know how I didn't guess that. Okay. Hey, he had some really good years, I'll tell you what.
He did. It would have been a lot better if he would have stayed clean, but
yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But yeah, them losing Willie Adames, pitcher. Who's the pitcher they lost to the Yankees?
Devin Williams.
Yeah, Devin Williams is huge. He's a low-key good pitcher going in this year for the Yankees right now, especially with Gill. Gill just got announced that he's out for a while, so they'll need him for sure. Giants, they could compete. I could see them stepping up. They got Justin Verlander. They got Adames, so they had a good offseason. I could see them definitely doing something. I think that they deserve to kind of be middle of the tier still. Obviously not making the playoffs last year, but they could definitely step up. Little quick future bet when Aaron Judge plays the Giants in April. He's going to crush them. Just watch out for that. But moving on, the boom or bust tier. This might be my favorite tier. We got a lot going on here. We got the Cincinnati Reds, the Chicago Cubs, the Cleveland Guardians, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the New York Mets. I think the Reds people were either really high or really low. I love them. They got some young talent, finally healthy. A lot of them got hurt last year, but Ellie De La Cruz, obviously the show line there. I could see him carrying them. Hopefully he even goes crazier with the steals this year. Chicago Cubs love that lineup. Adding in some talent, and they I think still need a reliever. But their starting pitching rotation is solid. Their lineup is solid. They got some good young players coming up too. I could see them. The expectation should be for them to make the playoffs. But I think they could even make a further run than that. The Guardians, solid team. I just don't know what I think their limit's pretty capped. I don't know how far they can really go. Pirates, love the pitching staff. They got a top tier pitching staff. Obviously, Skenes. He even looks sharp in preseason right now. Jared Jones, love him as a pitcher. They got some young guys coming up. Bubba Chandler. He's starting in the AAA to start the year, but I think they'll promote him pretty quick. New York Mets, everybody's hyped on them. Obviously, signing Juan Soto, I could see them busting, and I'd like to see them busting rather, and they could go to like bottom of the barrel. They could go to like I don't know, right? Maybe like with the Twins. They could be with the Twins.
Well, dude, Pete Soto back. Pete Alonso, I'm sorry. And they got Soto. Unstoppable. Whooped the Phillies last year.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'd say whoop the Phillies as much as the Phillies kind of gave it up themselves, but
True, but they still won.
Pete Alonso can go eat some hot dogs in the stands, and he can do that 9 inning challenge and go have fun with that. Get that guy out of here. Take that Juan Soto fielding too. You see him miss that fly ball in the outfield? It was like yesterday, today, literally right to him, just going up.
I did see that. Yeah.
Dude, it's not the first time too. He's done that multiple times.
Every once in a while. Yeah, you got like a whole like low lights of him just dropping balls left and right.
Don't get me wrong.
Either way, he got paid.
Yeah, he did get
paid. Gotta
get
the Soto shuffle. Yeah,
that's right.
I'm surprised. That whole contract was crazy to me.
Soto's or Alonso's?
Soto's. I mean, Lonzo, he's probably going to be in the same boat next year because they have the 1 year and have an option for the second. He might leave next year.
I think he probably will leave next year. I think this is a definition of boom and bust for them. They spent more money than any other team 3 off seasons in a row. I think the pitching staff's a little banged up heading into the year. Sean Manaea, he's their ace now. He's a little banged up already, but I don't know. He could definitely they could do something, but I'd like to see them not do anything. And then you got moving up to the ace in the hole, we got the Seattle Mariners. They probably have the best pitching staff, honestly, in the whole league. Kirby, he's a little banged up right now. I don't even know if he'll be healthy to start the season, but he's going to get a Cy Young at some point. And he's not even their best pitcher on their team. So absolutely crazy what their pitching staff. Boston Red Sox, they're top 5 too. Adding in Garrett Crochet, that's my favorite signing of anybody this offseason. I think he's going to have a huge year, contract year, big lefty. I can see him performing really well, and that whole team bumping up. I expect them to go higher than the tier they're at now. Braves always solid, even with all the injuries last year. Obviously, they'll get Acuna back this year. Strider will come back at some point too. I don't know how either of them will both be, but adding Jackson Profar either way to start off that lineup is deadly. On top of Azuña and obviously everyone else there. I don't know. I look at Matt Olson same way as Pete Alonso, bro. I just don't. You look at them, I just don't like their faces. I get them. I don't know. Something about them. Don't like them. Going back to my theory, which maybe one day we'll discuss, but we'll see about that. The Arizona Diamondbacks, their pitching staff too crazy. I mean, I didn't even talk about pitching staff for the Braves, for Chris Sale and everyone, but Diamondback signing Corbin Burns, like that was huge. Zach Gallen on that team, Corbin Carroll. Um, Jay, what were you telling me about his split season last year, Corbin Carroll?
Yeah, he threw what was it, I think the first 90 or they won 89 games. In the first 94 games of the year, he was only hitting like a 202, which is wild.
Yeah,
I mean,
he came out of that
like if
slump then.
yeah, he starts off hot, and there's an easy chance the Diamondbacks are pushing close to 100 wins last year.
Yeah, I could see them doing that this year, hitting that 100 win mark. I don't know what their win total is, but Marte too at second base, love that guy. He's a monster, leading off that lineup too. So those two at the top, that's really good. Plus that pitching staff, it's this whole line of East and the whole that we got here. They every team's really good. San Diego Padres too. Tatis, one of my favorite players. Dylan Cease, he's an incredible pitcher they picked up last year too. That whole team is just well rounded. I could see them easily making a push. Unfortunately, I could see them easily falling apart too, and maybe dishing off a lot of the team. That would be really unfortunate, but they should really make a good push this year, and I could see the Diamondbacks or the Padres really getting kind of carried by Tatis, and obviously Luis Arraez getting on base. Machado's still there, good veteran. It'll be interesting to kind of see which way they go. I'm rooting for them, but not 100% convinced that they're going to kind of make it the whole year. Moving up to the next line, we got the hunting or hunted. So starting off with the Philadelphia Phillies, almost feels like they're hunting again. Last year, they're like the ones being hunted, starting off the year really hot, but with how they ended the year last year and all the offseason buzz, not signing anybody, feels like they're kind of switching and starting to be the underdogs again. They just do really
Did
need
they
to get a
lose
piece.
anybody?
They didn't lose any key pieces, no. They added Jesus Luzardo, the starting pitcher, lefty for the Marlins. So they got easily top 3 pitching staff, in my opinion. Their starters they just go so deep into the game and hold the team down, and obviously so many veterans that have been through it. So same team running it back. I feel like that's part of the reason why they kind of looked at as like underdogs again, because they didn't perform. They're getting older. It's obviously Dodgers. It's like same conference makes it tough, but
I'll say that when you got the Dodgers winning 105 games a year, you're going to be an underdog regardless of who you are.
exactly. So if there's time to make some October magic, now tell you what.
I think it's better to be the one hunting than the one to be hunted.
Oh, for sure. That's like same thing
Maybe,
with
yeah.
the Lions in NFL too. Like how they had that magic going into the NFC Championship against the Niners, and then this year just like totally different. Just uh, Commanders kind of catching up to them.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles playing off that with the underdog story stuff. Like, yeah, the underdog always seems to do a little bit better. So if they can keep that narrative and obviously still win a lot of games and hopefully take that division. But it'll be interesting to see how their season plays out. Same thing with the Orioles. They always do really well, obviously, and they got a lot of young players. They're a little banged up right now heading in the year, so they could have a slow start. But if they call some guys up, right, they got a bunch of young guys that could come up and easily make an impact right away. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes for them. They just need to do something in the playoffs. I don't know if it's add a veteran to carry them through or just finally break through. They just got to come together in the playoffs and do something. Get past that first round. Yankees, to be honest, I'm not convinced I should have put them on this tier. I can easily see them not even making the playoffs. Not just because of losing Juan Soto, but the whole letdown from how losing the World Series to Aaron Judge not playing well, injuries with Garrett Cole was hurt last year. Now they got Gill starting out the year hurt, right? Stanton has 2 injections into both elbows in spring training. Like, so they got injuries left and right already to start the year. I just concerned about that. Not rooting against them, but we'll see. I think they're also, to your point, Danny, one of the hunted. So it doesn't make it any easier when you got other teams chasing for you. Obviously, you're the Yankees, and that doesn't make it any easier to be that team that has that spotlight and everything else going for them. And wrapping that off, they got the Kansas City Royals, obviously led by Bobby Witt Jr. And then they got a young guy coming up too. I gotta double check his name, but he's been impressing even in spring training. I'm excited to see how he does. Where's he at here? Jack Caligoni. I definitely mispronounced that. But that dude is a monster. I think he could definitely, if they get another bat along with Bobby Witt Jr. on that team, that
Scary.
beware. They could have easily beat the Yankees last year. I think that could be the team that in the AL. And then wrapping it up, don't really know much to say about the Dodgers. Right? Dodgers are just, they got more and more people every year. They get the rookie signing. They sign everybody, defer all the contracts. They obviously won last year. I'm just putting up dynasty because they might as well be a dynasty already. It's going to be really tough for anybody to take them down, but I foresee them winning like a couple championships here in the next 5 years. Well, you got to assume they win 3. I don't know. Like maybe something happens.
Probably pretty safe.
Yeah, maybe some injuries or something at some point, but with everybody they got on that team,
I'd say that's the thing. You could have 3-4 injuries, and you still got so much depth. It's scary.
Yeah, re-sign Tasker Hernandez. I honestly thought he was going to leave. I was really surprised he stayed, but what do you know? They came up with enough money, signed him too. But what do you like and dislike the most here, Jay?
For me, it's got to be the Pirates. I know a lot of people are real high on the Pirates, mainly just because of the pitching staff. You got Skenes, Keller, and Jones up top, but as far as the rotation goes, it kind of stops there. And then when you look at the hitting lineup, it's just there's no depth at all. Besides O'Neal Cruz, the team is kind of going to fall apart.
Boy, O'Neal Cruz 6'7", though. That dude has a whole lineup on his back. You know what I mean?
He's a big boy, but Brian Reynolds out in right fields, but I don't know. Tommy Pham's getting old. Andrew McCutcheon, the dude's like 40 years old. There's not a lot of hitting depth. I think the Pirates are really going to struggle. I think you're going to get good deep games out of your 3 main pitchers, but finding the run support is going to be really tough for the Pirates. I foresee them between them and the Reds. I think the Reds have a lot more going for them. I think I was a little more down on the Reds than I should be. The Reds, I foresee them maybe not making a run at the Central, but I think the Pirates are definitely going to be fighting for that 5th spot in the Central. I don't foresee them making much of a move at all.
They need to have Brian Hayes do something. I think during that COVID year, the very shortened season, he really impressed. Obviously, that was a small sample size, but he's shown flashes too. Like if he can get a bat going and they get another young guy, like that's I guess what I'm really hoping for. I think Paul Skenes and Joe Jones are really going to carry that. Weight of, I think there's Paul Skenes. There's no reason that he won't obviously compete for NL Cy Young. Just even adding another pitch this offseason, dude's incredible.
He's a freak.
But yeah, Reds. I'd like to see Ellie De La Cruz go for like 100 steals or something. You know what I mean? Like just get this dude around the bases every game.
He's good for a stolen base every time he's on, which is insane.
He runs about as fast as Roldis Chapman throws the ball.
You're not lying. Just looking at the Reds, rotation, I think the rotation's a little, I don't know, Hunter Green, Brady Singer, Andrew Abbott, Wade Miley, Nick Martinez, Nick Lodolo, Ashcraft. They got a deep rotation. And they're all young. They're all young too, which is very surprising.
Yeah, Hunter Green's really good. Obviously, he has some great. Yeah, I think obviously Boomer Bust could go one way or the other, but those teams, I think it's like to the extreme, really. Like I could see the Reds being as good as winning their division. I could see that being what they could do this year. I could see the Cubs not only winning the division but making a playoff push. Shaw for the Cubs is their rookie, I think, this year that really needs to make a big impact for them. Guardians, I guess I could see them, making a really big push. I see them more being a bust, unfortunately. Maybe just more consistent. I don't know, it's tough to say. Pirates, obviously, to your point too, it's up and down, and I don't even want to talk about the Mets. I feel like we're going to be talking about them a lot. But I just hate that team so much. I hate them.
It's hard
I
not
don't
to
know.
hate
For
the
some
Mets.
reason, I think the Orioles are a little overrated.
The Orioles?
Yeah. Just looking them up. It says one of their pitchers just got injured today.
Who was that? Is it Grayson Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. How long's he out for? Yeah, he's a vital piece there. I can't believe they didn't keep Corbin Burns, or why they didn't go harder, try and keep him. That
He
was
said miss his start.
okay. Yeah,
Really give a date or
hopefully he's not
anything.
out long term. Gunnar Henderson's banged up right now though too. You can't have your best player hurt and look to win the whole season. That's they got to get him healthy and then get him back on track. Get that Jackson Holiday, get him going, right? I think they easily deserve to be where they're at. I could easily see them, though, to your point, having some issues this year, especially having some woes in the postseason.
I think the Orioles' downfall is probably going to end up being the pitching.
Yeah.
I think they got a lot of young guys that'll hit, but I mean they did bring Zach Eflin, which is pretty big. Charlie Morton.
That's true. Yeah, Zach Eflin, I liked him on the Rays. I don't think he did too hot for those last year when played for them for the back half, but
Did they bring in Trevor Rogers this year?
I'm not
Or was
sure
he
if
there?
he did.
Was he?
No, I think it
He
was
might have
this
been.
year. I think it was this year.
Yes, I mean that'll be pretty. That'd be
Being
nice.
on the team.
I'm curious to see if Jackson Holiday's what he's gonna do this year. Kind of a little underperforming early, but
I guess if you guys had to pick one team that's not the Dodgers to win the chip, who would it be?
Phillies.
Who?
Phillies.
I'm surprised you said that. I'm very surprised you said that.
Yeah.
Why do you pick the
When
Phillies?
they lost, I don't know. It was very upsetting to watch them lose last season
Yeah, dude,
against the Mets.
how do you not root for them? Like the vibes that they got, dude. Bryson Stott walking up, Stott to get a hit, bro. Lock of the century. That and Miguel Vargas to get a walk. Like, but the vibes though that they give during the postseason, it's hard not to root for them. That's just.
Even that game that we went to was pretty crazy against the Padres.
Mm-hmm.
It rained out for like 3 hours. We were still. As soon as we left, they decided to go off.
Yeah. So many people stayed though, even through that 3 hour delay. Like they sell out on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Like that's nuts. Jay, who's your pick?
honestly, it has to be the Phillies. The team's just so deep. I think just the only concern that I have for the Phillies year in and year out is just the bullpen.
Yeah,
The starters, they pitch 5, 6 solid innings, but it seems like once that bullpen comes in, the team falls apart.
I'll tell you
I think
what.
the
If they
Phillies.
get Mason Miller, that's game over. That's I think the piece they need that specific player.
I'm really surprised the Phillies didn't go after Devin Williams. To be honest, that would have been a massive pickup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would have been really nice too. If I'm not to pick the same team as you guys, but I'm gonna have to go with the Boston Red Sox if I'm gonna go with another team. Like away from the Phillies or the Dodgers, the Red Sox. Like I said, just Alex Bregman, adding him in there in third base. Not sure what they're gonna do with him and Rafael Devers, but whether they trade Devers, find another position for him, I think that they could easily push for the chip. They got Tanner Houck. They got Garrett Crochet signed. They had Nick Pivetta. Actually, Pivetta may have left the team. Now I think about it. Anyway, it doesn't even matter without him. Tanner Houck, love him. The way that they performed on the road last year, they were better on the road than they were at home. I think the Red Sox could will probably flip that, but if they keep that consistency on the road, Jaron Duran too. Like they got the whole squad. They got the young guys coming up. Christian Campbell is number 7 out of top 100, and Anthony, what's his name? Anthony something. Anthony Roman Anthony.
I'm just looking at the schedule. You know, they
Roman
played the
Anthony.
Dodgers right away. The Phillies play the Dodgers like April
Yeah.
4th
Phillies
through
have
6th.
a soft opening. They open against the Rockies at
Hmm.
home, and then have someone else pretty easy. But yeah, then they play Dodgers, Braves pretty early. Then back to a little bit easy schedule.
And they play the Mets right away.
But real quick, the 2 Red Sox guys I really want to look out for this year: Roman Anthony in center field, and Christian Campbell in the second base and maybe a little bit outfield. But these guys both top 10 and top 100 for young prospects coming up, and they're both expected to get some solid playing time this year, at least like as backups. So like that, like I said, that's my squad that I'm picking if I can't go with the Phillies. But
Don't say about Walker Buehler. Big sign too.
yeah, Walker Buehler too. I don't know how I keep forgetting about that. And then Danny's favorite, Aroldis Chapman,
Mm-hmm.
closing out the games. Like the dude's throwing 105 miles per hour. He's a bad guy. Tell you what, you gotta watch out for him.
Bad boy, go buy his jersey, dude. Just change out his last name for Bad Boy.
Don't look that up, ladies and gentlemen. Do not look that up. No, but yeah, that should be an exciting season. That's the MLB preseason tiers we got for you. Obviously, that'll change throughout the year depending on where, on how everybody goes. Anybody kind of gives up on the season, but we got Dynasty, hunting or getting hunted, ace in the hole, boomer bust, stepping back or up, mid at best, and bottom of the barrel. We'll change the names throughout the year too, but appreciate everybody joining, and let me know what you agree or disagree with in the comments below.